Talia, Mazel Tov. I've never really been one much for New Year's resolutions. Part of that comes from stubbornness, that if I decide to start working out more or eating healthier, then it's going to be on my terms, not because we changed a number on the calendar. But the other part, which I think speaks more about me than anything else, that first part spoke a little bit about me too, I guess, is that I don't like the disappointment of when things fall through, which I know is such a negative and pessimistic view, focusing on the inevitability of broken resolutions rather than the excitement and the hope of starting new ones. But it's true. I think about that a lot. And because I'm competitive and like doing things to the best of my ability, the prospect of almost certain failure really deters me rather than motivates me. But this morning I want to talk for just a moment about something that might seem a little paradoxical. Because while the secular New Year really doesn't do a whole lot for me, our New Year, the Jewish New Year, and the days of tshuva and kapara and simcha that follow do everything for me. And I want to take this opportunity to explain why this New Year is so different from that New Year. And I know that יש לנו כמה ישראלים כאן היום, אז אני מבקש עזרה עכשיו for the translation of the secular New Year, which we call, in Hebrew, Sylvester, nachon, which is a sermon in and of itself, and we can talk about it on another day, but it's a really fascinating history that goes with that. But the secular New Year, also known as Sylvester in Hebrew, is about the celebration of strength and persistence. We've made it through another year. Let's take all of that momentum and those accolades and let's do even better this year. Which, for the record, isn't a bad take. That's good. It makes sense. And I think there's a lot to be said for that kind of celebration of perseverance and for acknowledging our successes. That's a good thing. And after the last few years we've had, especially the last year and a half, yeah, making it through is definitely worth celebrating. But to me, that philosophy also feels very linear, like we've reached a new level on our journey up a mountaintop, the mountain of life. And because we've made it to this new place, we should drink some champagne and start mapping out our great new route, because our goal is to make it to the mountaintop. Sylvester is a mile marker, a reminder that we've traveled far and that we hope to go even farther. That's not how Judaism sees life, and it's not how we Jews are meant to experience time. We don't believe in lines. We believe in cycles. But there is nuance to that belief, because in Judaism, our cycles aren't repetitions. They are the infusion of newness and potential into the old and into the reoccurring. Our lives aren't circles, they're upward spirals, like a corkscrew or a strand of DNA. And we refer to this spiral with a prayer that we've said a lot in the last couple of weeks, one that we just said today as we celebrate with Talia, and one that we will say often in the 2 weeks to come. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam she'achiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu l'zman hazeh. The words of she'achiyanu aren't about newness, but rather renewal. We say them this morning for Talia not because she is a new bat mitzvah, but because she has arrived at a sacred moment in the cycle of a Jewish life. When she was born, all of creation whispered those words. And when she, please God, grows and enters into other moments, college or further learning, the entering into a meaningful career, chuppah, the establishment of her own family, all of creation will offer those same words again and again and again. not because they are unique to her, but because she is unique to them. Our celebration of a new year does not culminate with Yom Kippur. It culminates with Simchat Torah. When we finish reading the last Pesukim, the last verses of the book of Devarim, and then in celebration we roll the Torah all the way back to Bereshit and we start all over again. And we do so with so much joy and love and laughter and singing, because when we read that same text this time, it is after nearly 2 months of tshuva, of careful introspection and analysis of our relationships, our actions, our beliefs, and our values, a cheshbon nefesh, an accounting of our souls, of working on ourselves so intentionally and sincerely that we inevitably emerge from these days of awe changed. The words of Torah are the same. The liturgy is the same. The ritual, the melodies, the calendar, they're all the same. But we are different. We're different. And because we are all different, all of this takes on new meaning. Words that we've read for years speak to us differently. Rituals we've performed as long as we can remember become more personal, more beautiful, more powerful. We're back at the beginning, and yet everything is different. Sylvester asks us to hike a mountain. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and these days of awe guide us up a spiral staircase. A staircase with spectacular views where we're asked to look ahead. Not up, not down, but straight ahead. Right before I started speaking, we sang a melody together. Eitz chaim hi lamachazikim ba, v'tomchea meusha, derachea darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom, hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva, chadesh yamenu kekedem. Our Torah is a tree of life for those who cling to her. All those who uphold her are blessed. Her ways are pleasant, and all her paths lead to peace. Return to us, Adonai, and we shall return. Make us brand new in the ways of old. Those last words, make us brand new in the ways of old, are the crown jewels of our tradition. What is Torah? What is Jewish life? It is the constant rhythm of an unchanged cycle of existence embraced by a healed and renewed heart. Sameness with the promise of growth. The known infused with the magical unknowability of human potential. In Judaism, we don't make New Year's resolutions, we make New Year revolutions. Repeated trips around the same sun, on the same planet, with the same bodies, and yet every single trip is different. Every trip is what we choose to make of it. So here we are, in our same old sanctuary, in our same old seats, reading the same old text and ready to daven the same old musaf. But after these last 2 months, all of it is brand new. And that is worth celebrating. And in Judaism, our favorite way of celebrating is by saying todah, is by saying thank you. And so I'll invite you to rise now as we turn to our Musaf Amidah, and we give thanks to the one who spoke and the world came into being, and we give thanks for making us brand new, just like in the days of old. Page 100.